Well, it's fair to say I was wrong. Rockstar is cooking. They're cooking so much, I had to just scrap my previous video because this trailer dropped out of nowhere. And for once, in the 5 years these consoles have been out, we finally have something we can confidently say looks next gen. Still not paying $100 for it. After what was the harshest delay in video game history, Rockstar immediately followed it with trailer number 2. Now, of course, this trailer doesn't have any gameplay, which is my biggest problem with it, but it's finally a trailer that lets us know more about the characters, what they're about, the environments, the type of things you'll be seeing. This is easily the biggest next generational leap I have seen in a video game in quite some time. Which obviously it should, because this game costs more to make than building the Burj Khalifa, which is the tallest building in the world. That was $1.5 billion, took 6 years to make. GTA 6 was $2 billion and took 13 years to make. So you're damn right it better look like it's a next-gen game. What we have here looks significantly better than the first trailer, although I will admit, I like the vibes of the first trailer a lot more. But you really get a proper glimpse into just how much more significant the lighting is here and the texture work. I mean, it is all selective cutscenes, let's keep that in mind. And already we are seeing progress even from last year's trailer. With how this game looks, I could imagine that even though Rockstar has claimed in a recent announcement that it was delayed due to crunch, let's face it, the real reasons this is being delayed is because there's optimization issues going on. This is going to be pushing the PS5 to its limits because that's the console it was captured on, and that's the console it's being promoted on. So much so, they even have a PS5 in the game, as you can see here, which got Nib to start beating his meat off on Twitter. So yeah, it seems like Sony has the marketing rights for this title. All I can tell you is just looking at it, this is most definitely not going to be a 60 FPS game. Hell, I don't even know if it's going to be a stable 30 FPS game, because it's definitely using just about every form of ray tracing. Whether that's ray traced reflections like we can see in the mirror of the car, ray traced lighting, which sticks out the most, and maybe even some ray traced shadows. Rockstar are software engineering wizards. Only they can manage to pull this off without a PS5 exploding. Hell, this is going to be running on an Xbox Series S, even though people thought it would be skipping the Xbox Series S. So if Rockstar can make something like this run on an Xbox Series S, you begin to wonder what's the excuses other devs have, because this is setting a new standard, and now people's expectations are going to be through the roof after this. Anybody who cannot develop for the Xbox Series S need to all go back to whatever software engineering school they were at and get a refund. On top of the trailer, Rockstar released over 70 images on their website and a few clips letting us know everything about these characters, and let's actually dive into that now. But before we do, be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment what you think about what you've seen, and also remember, hit subscribe if you want me to hit 100K and do a face reveal holding that silver play button. I've been here far too long. It's time Daddy Frick gets his comeuppance business out of the way. Let's start off with the trailer. Now, you guys have probably played this over and over and over and over again, so you know it better than you know your own children. We finally get more than single panned camera angles of Vice City, and we're introduced to new characters like this one, who, according to Rockstar's website, his name is Brian Heater, who has nothing better to do than a mudslide at sunset. Brian's a classic drug runner from the golden age of smuggling in the keys, still moving product through his boatyard with his third wife, Lori. Brian's been around long enough to let others do his dirty work, and the trailer starts off with him asking Jason, who needs no introduction, to go and collect a debt for him. The usual debauchery that we all love from Grand Theft Auto. Of all the characters introduced so far, he seems to be my favorite. Now, the way these boats are moving in the background as Jason is climbing down the ladder has me believing that cutscenes will be dynamic, and the detail here is just absolutely amazing. Easily the most lifelike characters Rockstar has ever made. I mean, with $2 billion, I expect nothing less than photorealism. Also, the real-time reflections that you can get a glimpse at right here, like the mirror to Jason's door, is absolutely incredible. Ray tracing has come a long way. Hell, it's so good you can even see it in Jason's shades. Overall picture quality is just insane as well. Very crisp, very sharp. It doesn't look like someone smeared Vaseline over the screen like a lot of Unreal Engine 5 games we've been seeing. I mean, look at the way you can see this stop sign's pole even reflected in the puddle in the distance. Now, this scene where Jason walks through his door, I believe is the closest thing we're going to see to gameplay. This transition, it almost seems like a cutscene transitioning into gameplay, which is most likely what is happening here. And we only get a brief split second of it, but it shows you that interiors are just as detailed as the exteriors. You can see all the individual grooves and lines on that oak wood floor and each single panel of it. And all of it seems to correspond with whatever the weather or day cycle is, because it all looks like it's happening in real time and not cube mapped. Next here, it looks like Jason is collecting a debt from somebody who owes to Brian. Hell, I'm assuming this entire sequence is off of one mission. And based on the gemstones and the 420 rolling paper and the crystals and the hook on the floor, it looks like he's collecting from some sort of head shop. And everything is in detail, even the individual coins and the individual dollar bills being pulled from the register all look like they're rendered. I'm not usually one to gush over visuals in a game. Graphics aren't everything, and to be real, it seems to me like Rockstar is indeed selling this game mainly on its graphics. But you know, I can't help it. I am legitimately impressed. It has far exceeded my expectations. Every little bit of this interior looks like it's lived in. It doesn't all look like copy-pasted interiors that we're used to in most games we play. Then we get this shot of driving in first person on the highway, somewhere close to the Vice City International Airport. Then we get the shot of Jason working out at the beach. And I've just never seen weights in a game that looks so fucking realistic. In general, everything I'm seeing in this scene is the most impressive rendered version of reality I've seen in any video game. From the sand, to the palm trees, to the bench, to the weights. You can even see the wear and tear over the years of all those individual weights. It looks clean. Not only that, but the way Rockstar goes out of their way to put the individual branding of every little item. Even the weights have a fictional brand like everything else does. I mean, but when it comes to this game specifically in this trailer, they really wanted to simulate that. Then over here we have Jason walking out of a liquor store with a pack of beers. And there's just something so therapeutic about this scene, specifically for me. Maybe it's my alcoholism, but it is incredibly satisfying to not only be able to hear those bottles jingle and clank together as he's walking with them, but to also see their individual movements sliding in the box. Being able to see the little wrinkles in Jason's shirt here, the hair on his legs, the dirty, beat up old floor of the liquor store. The amount of detail on the clutter is insane. We have somebody over here playing the lottery tickets. We can see this breaker box. There is more high definition detail in the smallest of items here than there is detail in the majority of AAA games in general. Then we get this shot of police dealing with homeless people, thugs, or whatever. And I can't believe how much I'm gushing over how beautiful the police sirens look. Then we're taken back to the prison from the first trailer, the one that we see Lucia released from. And I gotta say, something about the work and the lighting for this trailer specifically lets you see a lot more detail than we got last year. Last year's trailer didn't wow me as much as this one is, and it's the same exact location. It's amazing how much progress this game has made in a year visually. It's almost as if they weren't ready to show us everything just yet. Now, I'm surprised they actually went ahead and showed us the cutscene where Lucia gets released and reunites with Jason. I don't know if this means they were in a relationship prior or they form a relationship after this. Definitely seems like they've been together the whole time. And then, of course, you know, the scene immediately afterwards is them smashing. In all fairness, it's a very immersive smash scene. With the curves that they got on Lucia here in the scene, you can absolutely tell whoever made it really loved their job. And I mean, really love their job. It's crazy to think that some person out there is feeding their entire family by making a sexy woman. which is usually considered a crime by today's modern audience standards, but Rockstar didn't give a single fuck. They said, make Lucia a 10 out of 10 model. They also take time to show you Lucia's ankle bracelet right here. I'm going to go ahead and assume that her house arrest is going to play some gameplay mechanic or role. Perhaps you have a limited time, you can leave the property and you have to be back, and if you don't make it, cops will come after you and give you a wanted level. I couldn't imagine them just giving her an ankle bracelet and it not playing a role in the gameplay. It absolutely has to serve a purpose, and it's got to be intriguing, and it's got to be done right. It can't feel like it's a chore to play as Lucia. But we see her out of the house in many scenes in the game, so I don't know if she's even under house arrest. I don't know what the purpose of it is. But something tells me that if it is going to be in the game and it is going to play a role, it's going to be a temporary one. Because also the last thing Rockstar wants to do is restrict the players on where they can take Lucia. It would be counterintuitive to have this entire open world game map and you can't go to certain destinations because she has to be back home. So perhaps it will be how they limit sections of the map early on, as they've done in other GTA games where you couldn't cross into a different district of a city or map, like in GTA 4, until you progressed there. Perhaps that could be it. But from what I'm seeing in this trailer, the focus is more on Jason than it was in the first trailer. Jason seemed more like a secondary character, but here, all the focus is on him, and it may be like that for a good duration of the first few parts of the game too. I imagine Lucia's introduction isn't gonna happen that soon. One thing is for sure though, is Rockstar really went all out with the lovemaking scenes. They don't shy away from Lucia's sexiness, and they certainly don't shy away from the fact that these two are gonna be very intimate in this game, which makes me wonder if you're gonna be able to do, you know, what you used to do in older GTA games. Like personally, when, you know, I was far too young to be playing a title like this, I was picking up elegant women on the streets with the nicest car in game and paying them for their services and then butchering them after and getting my money back. I don't know if that will be something you can do in this game if you're committed to another character. Who knows? GTA is a game all about debauchery, so Rockstar might just give you the ability to cheat on your spouse. That's going to be very hard to do because Lucia is a 10 out of 10, and the way the characters are interacting throughout this trailer, it really looks like they actually love each other, unlike Michael DeSanta and his wife. But yeah, Rockstar is not shying away from the female form. They want you to be looking at it, and that's a good thing. Now, this scene is actually one of my favorites because the parody on a bottle of Modelo is great. I mean, that really convinced me that was Modelo. But it wouldn't be the beauty of Rockstar if it wasn't a parody. In general, I have seen several excellent parody bottles of beer. That's a weird thing to say, I know. But goddamn, I do love how they went out of their way to have a variety of beers and make them all look very convincing and familiar. It's also amazing how the foil on the top of the bottle looks exactly like how a Modelo looks in real life. Like, they got that detail down to a T. You know when you uncap a bottle of Modelo, how a little bit of that foil comes off with the bottle cap and it rips a little bit of the edge off? You can see that here. You can see that here. I don't know if like people are gonna be pissed off at me because I'm gushing over such a little detail, but come on, I mean, that's impressive. All little fine details like that matter when it comes to creating a living, breathing looking world. You have to be able to convince people that they can live in this world themselves. I mean, well, they can go fly to Florida, but real Florida isn't as beautiful as the fictional one. Sorry, Floridians. Then this next scene caught my attention because if you look at the sign above where everybody is loading what's quite possibly drugs onto this plane, Brian's Boatworks and Marina, and I'm guessing that this is what Brian's business operation is, or the cover-up for what he actually does, which is, you know, smuggling drugs. He's just laundering that money through a legitimate business. I'm thinking this is probably where a lot of missions will take place, or where you go for whatever missions you got to do for him. I'm also thinking perhaps he's who you can buy boats and planes from. And based on what I'm seeing, there's several different models. Any missions that are going to involve boats or planes are definitely going to involve Brian, as he seems like the main supplier. Next scene, we get probation workers picking up trash on the side of the road. I'm also thinking some Lucia missions will be involved in doing this, because we see her wearing this exact vest in another scene, almost as if she's coming home from doing some type of community service, whether that's picking up trash on the side of the road. I don't think they would flash this for no reason. Well, I imagine in general you're going to be seeing a lot of NPCs interacting in the world in several new ways that we haven't before in GTA 4 or 5. Then we get a shot of some new apartment, house, whatever, that Lucia and Jason are moving in. They have a pet snake in the back. I bet you anything Rockstar will let you feed it. And probably like GTA 5 with Franklin, you're gonna move up the ladder and into better properties and a better life. I'm imagining you start at rock bottom and work your way up to having nice things. I couldn't imagine them doing it any other way. I'm pretty sure you'll be able to buy several properties. Then we get our first look at a brand new character, which is also on the official Rockstar website with details about who he is. I'm imagining he's gonna be one of the fan favorites, and that is Cal Hampton. What if everything on the internet was true? So thinking some internet conspiracy theorist that also does crime on the side. Jason's friend and a fellow associate of Brian's, Cal feels safest hanging at home, snooping on Coast Guard comms with a few beers and some private browser tabs open. He's essentially the new Lester. We get a shot of him in this bar with Lucia and Jason, and again, the detail to the different brands of beer alone. What's crazy to me is Rockstar really went out of their way to handcraft several different fictional beer brands. Some may not be impressed by that, but things like that impress me for sure. And like every GTA since GTA 4, I'm imagining you can get drunk and have entirely new, unique dialogue conversations with just about every single character. I imagine you can hang out with all the characters in this game. That was one of my favorite things to do in GTA 5 and 4, was just go to a bar with different dates or different characters, get drunk, and just see all the unique dialogue, because that's part of the experience when it comes to Grand Theft Auto. Then we have, of course, the most played part of the GTA 6 trailer, and that is Lucia's cake. It's crazy to me that several content creators out there even dared to assume that she was supposed to be a trans character. I cannot believe people actually fell for that. It's so blatantly obvious that she's a chick and she didn't have a DEI chin, and at least a quarter of the budget went into handcrafting one of the best asses in video games. And it jiggles, it moves, it's plump, it's luscious, and it's definitely one of the highest selling points. Because Rockstar knows sex sells, and they know that the male gaze is the most profitable market in gaming. This game makes me thirsty in two different ways, with the beer and with the butt talks. And aren't those just the two best things in life? Beer and booty? Then we get scenes of them dancing and partying in clubs, so I'm gonna go ahead and guess that maybe they're gonna bring back what they had in GTA 4, The Ballad of Gay Tony, where you could go to clubs and dance. Not really something I'm craving, because ever since I played the dance minigame in Yakuza, no other game has been able to make dancing fun. So, you know, Rockstar, you're gonna have to step it up with the dancing minigame. It's gotta be really good. It can't be simplistic. Now, I'm not sure who this cop is introduced, because I can't find anything about his character on the official Rockstar page. All we know is he's an officer. Looks like the police are going to have a little detailed storyline of their own with several cutscenes. Not much more to go off of, but if he's corrupt like Officer Tenpenny, then we're gonna have a great time. I can imagine you either work with him or he's constantly trying to foil your plans and bust Lucia and get you and her back in jail. It could go either way. As it stands, no name on him yet, which is strange because the way he's portrayed in this trailer, it seems like he's gonna have a significant role. Then here we get a look at another character that's also featured on the Rockstar page, Real Dimes. Well, I think it's actually two characters, and maybe that's the name of their pair, but she's the one here on the right that we see in the trailer. Then, you know, we get another fan service scene where the camera just can't stop looking at Lucia's cake, and can you blame whoever produced this trailer? Now, at first, I thought the trailer was a little boring, but you know what? The more I'm watching it, the more my eyes are down there and not up here. Then we get a scene of Lucia, and it looks like she's cage fighting, so I'm wondering if there's going to be some type of underground fight club you can be a part of, where maybe you even train your hand-to-hand combat skills. I always found it a little boring that you could just easily knock people out in GTA 5 without much of a challenge. Hopefully Rockstar has several different type of NPCs that will deliver you a much more challenging fight, and maybe it may even require you to upgrade your own abilities. The various ways you can knock out people with different types of weapons, kicks, punches, or headbutts like you could with Nico Bellic in GTA 4, I really missed. Right now they have a golden opportunity to make fighting random people on the streets a lot more interesting. Now this scene where it looks like Lucia's gunning down police cars with a grenade launcher is providing one of the most beautiful explosions I've ever seen in a video game. The attention to detail here is nuts. I know I keep saying that, attention to detail, but what else do you want me to say? Explosions have never looked more beautiful before. They don't just look like some preset animation. The explosions here look like they're using actual physics, and the way the range of that explosion affects the other vehicles within its vicinity is impressive. Even this shattered windshield here with a little bit of glass hanging on the edge of where it was. And it's much more than just a cloud of smoke or the quick flash of a flame. There are sparks flying everywhere, debris. You can even see the heat in the very air itself being generated from that explosion. It's actually rendered. From what I can tell, I ain't no digital foundry. I can't sit here and pixel count every little bit of that flame, but it really does look like they rendered different types of explosions for different scenarios. Then here we get a look at another character that is also featured on the Rockstar website page, Draquan Priest. Only raw records. Draquan was always more of a hustler than a gangster, even when he was dealing on the streets to make ends meet. Breaking into music was the goal, so some rapper, DJ, record label artist, owner. I can imagine you're going to be doing a lot of missions for this character. I mean, maybe I'm getting my hopes up too much, but if Rockstar has like an entire mini game where you make beats and create music and try to distribute it and sell it, that would be phenomenal. But again, I think they're more focused on selling you on the graphics than gameplay mechanics. I don't think Rockstar will go that above and beyond. One can only hope that it's more than just drive here, shoot these people, bring this thing back. I hope they really do get creative with missions for these characters because they're all unique and they all do different things, but it is a crime game, so the focus will always be on crime, but the potential is there to do something different. Then we got this scene where it looks like it's Lucia fighting another broad, nearly falling off the edge of an airplane. You can see Vice City down below as the plane is flying above it, and this scene just looks absolutely phenomenal. What else is there to say? Maybe this means we can do more than just fly the plane. Maybe we are even able to explore full-on interiors to these bigger airplanes. No idea who this next character is. He's not listed on Rockstar's website. In general, I feel like the characters who aren't listed on the website are probably gonna die in the game, but it looks like social media and phones are gonna play a huge role. Perhaps one of the goals and mini games you do is trying to get things to trend. And then we get a little commercial playing on the TV that features ammunition. And what I like here is it seems like Rockstar isn't just using parody gun brandings anymore. It looks like they're actually using real world guns, or at least modeled after real world guns. We also see a PS4 controller, what's supposed to be a PS4 controller. And again, man, just the beer they keep showing in this game is making me thirsty. It just looks so drinkable. The firearms here just resemble more of what they look like in real life than they did in GTA 5. And I'm imagining you're going to be able to customize each and every single one and get upgrades for them, which makes me wonder if both characters are gonna have different combat advantages when it comes to firearms, or maybe Lucia's more hand-to-hand combat based and Jason is a better marksman. Who knows? It's just great to see ammunition make a comeback. I mean, we were all expecting them to be in the game, but yeah, it looks like you'll be able to sit and watch TV like you've been able to do in GTA 4 and 5 for a while. Then we get this swamp chase scene, which already lets you know that, you're gonna be able to fly helicopters and shoot from them. That's to be expected. But what we have here is a new vehicle to the GTA franchise, an airboat, which I can imagine would be the best choice for navigating through swampy areas. I'm wondering if we're gonna see manatees in this game. I mean, we've seen alligators, iguanas, dolphins. I'm betting we will get to see wild manatees out there, and they will probably be found in areas like this that resemble the Everglades. And with that, we wrap up the trailer. You really get a good idea of the sheer scale, size, and scope of this map. It's huge. As we're told, there's going to be 5 locations throughout this map, and they're all going to be dense, heavily populated. I imagine the wildlife will be incredible. There are screenshots out there already showcasing panthers, deer, coral reef life. You'll be able to scuba dive, and the oceans here are far more detailed than they ever were in GTA 5. It's easily Rockstar's biggest game to date. But what's really crazy to me is just the amount of info and screenshots that Rockstar has uploaded on their website that you can scroll through right now. Some of these actually have transitions, unique artwork, actual screenshots of in-game cutscenes. I mean, we're barely even scratching the surface of what they've revealed to us, because the bigger things to even take note of can be found on their website, which I recommend you go and look at, because I don't have enough time to break down every single image. There's so many of them. Personally, I'm okay with the delay because it's resulted in Rockstar revealing more. Now, the only thing we have left to see is gameplay. Rockstar's a little too shy to be showing that to us, and I'm thinking it's all performance related, and that's why they need just a little longer. I don't know how they're going to, optimize this to be playable, but I leave it in Rockstar's hands. Full trust in that studio. They have mimicked the Floridian lifestyle down to a T. And if you want to keep up to date with more GTA info, or just about any other gaming info, well, you know who to tune into. Like, comment, share, and subscribe if you so choose to. That being said, I'm out of here.
Free Congo sucks ass.